Hey everyone, welcome to the channel where we talk about all things movies. If you love talking about movies and staying up to date on what's in theaters and what's worth checking out, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my reviews when they're posted. So I just got back from seeing Montana Story at the theater, so let's talk about it. Now, in this movie, two estranged siblings return home to the sprawling ranch that they once knew and loved, confronting a deep and bitter family legacy against a mythic American backdrop. And so my anticipation going into this film was literally non-existent. I hadn't seen any trailers, didn't read any sort of synopsis. I just saw that it was playing this week, one of the few new movies in theaters, and so I went to go see it. And with that, let's get into what I thought about the film. So the things that I liked about the film, the first off is just the setting. It takes place in Montana, and the landscapes are just so beautiful. I haven't been to Montana myself, but this movie definitely makes me want to go there and kind of experience these firsthand. But it definitely does a good job of, capturing that on screen and kind of getting like anything that can make me want to go visit a place, I think does a good job as a movie, and especially from the cinematography point of view and like the locations and stuff like that. So really good job by the people who found the locations where they filmed, and for the cinematographer for kind of how they captured that. Next up, I did really enjoy the main character, Cal. I felt like I could kind of relate to him the most. Maybe that's just because he's also an engineer like I am. But I felt like kind of the way he was handling events was very relatable to me. Like, I feel like in his shoes, I would handle pretty much everything the same way he did and kind of make the same or similar decisions. So it was nice to have a character that I could relate to as well as I did, mainly because on the flip side of that, I didn't relate at all in the least to his sister Erin. I felt that now I think this just comes down to the sort of person that you are, but she's very well, the way she's very, I think, emotionally driven, which is not the way that I am. So when she is, making decisions that in my opinion don't really make sense, but she's coming from a place of what feels like the right thing to do, I related with Cal and sided with Cal, and I was just kind of annoyed at her character. And she's kind of that way throughout the whole film. But as the film goes on, we learn a bit more about her, and I would say that kind of lessened my annoyance of the character or by the character. But that still didn't really go away. But I was happy by the end of the film to kind of understand her, even if I couldn't directly relate with her. Another character that I liked was Ace. He's the nurse that is in the film, and I felt like he was just a very grounded character, and I thought the story used him well as far as being the kind of the impetus of getting the two main characters to kind of address their problems and maybe start to work them out. So having a third party there who's not directly involved, I thought was a good like story mechanic to kind of start getting that wheel rolling, or to get the ball rolling. And then, so yeah, lastly, I think I would say the film overall was pretty slowly paced. Like, I wasn't like very interested throughout, but I did recognize that it was a character study, and that's at the heart of this film. And so I was just hoping they would pay it off by the end, which I think they did. In my opinion, they did. There's, I think, two scenes in the final act that just show some very raw human emotion, and that for me made it worth kind of the slow burn of the beginning piece. So I'm not going to go into any like details as to what that is, but if you are watching the film and you are getting bored, I would say stick it out through the third act. But yeah, I mean, that kind of wraps up my thoughts on the film. There isn't a whole lot to this film. It's a character study. It's mainly about a brother and a sister, and kind of working out issues in their past. So I thought it was decent. Not necessarily one of my favorite films, but mainly because of those last or the two scenes in the third act, that definitely elevated it up to, yeah, a decent film. I'd give it a B. I think without those scenes, it would definitely be in the C tier for me, and it would have been a very meh film. But those were very powerful scenes that just showcased I mean, it was great acting and as well, but like that's where the you really get an insight into the characters, and it definitely needed that. So I was happy to see that it got it. But yeah, at the end of the day, while the cinematography was really good, I would say this isn't one that you need to see on the big screen. If you're, stuck at home looking for something to stream when it becomes available on streaming and you're looking for more of a drama and character study, that's what this movie is, and I would recommend it for that. But it's still in that B tier, so I would say you don't have to rush out to go see it. But yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, probably worth checking out. All right, so that does it for this review. If you've had a chance to see Montana Story, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Which of the characters did you like the best, and what did you find most interesting about the film? For me, it was Cal that I related to the best, and I found it very interesting, kind of the dynamic between Cal and Aaron, and how we see that kind of evolve over the film. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this review, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And with that, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next review.